Hey everyone, Super Saiyan Sanchez back here with another video, bringing you guys the Scouter Vegeta Arlia, the San Diego Comic-Con 2014 exclusive. And here's a 360 view of the Comic-Con Vegeta. This is one of those grails that is pretty cool, pretty amazing for the time at least. Of course, it's a 1.0, so a lot of stuff has changed. All right, let's go ahead and open them up, check them out. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and take a look at all his accessories. And he is stacked with a lot of accessories. That's the one thing I always liked about the OG figures. They came with a lot of extra hands, faces. Of course, well, it's not every single one of them, but most of them did have a lot of effect pieces, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and show what he has. He does have the crossed arms, the extra head. He does have 3 extra faceplates, 3 extra set of hands. There's a couple extra things in here. Let's go ahead and take a look right now. And these are some effect pieces. These are pretty cool. Definitely some stuff that they don't include anymore in a lot of later figures. It's kind of rare to actually see effect pieces, which kind of sucks, but I still think it's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and take a 360 look at Vegeta. And this is something I like about the OGs. It's if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of the OGs. That's when I started collecting, 2012, late 2012. I always like the shading in the figures. The faces aren't as good, but to me, the idea was there. And of course, now it's gotten a lot better with the printing, but at the time, this was pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Vegeta. And man, he is phenomenal. I know the face isn't exactly what everyone likes, but at the time when the OGs did come out, this is what you had. The SH Figuarts line did start in 09, if anyone didn't know that. They've come a long way. Of course, the printing. And of course, back in the day, they did a lot more of... I feel like the color scheme were a lot more brighter. Of course, they still got a lot of good stuff now, but, you know, of course, they had a lot more shading in the figures. You know, look at these lines in here with the black line inside. That was just different. Most of the new figures don't really get that type of that extra love. I feel like now I don't know, I feel like now it's just I guess because figures get released like maybe twice a month, or I mean once every month. They announce a new figure and then it comes out. They go month by month when releases happen. So at the time, this was amazing. This was what they had, and I kind of hold this kind of close to my heart just because this is my first San Diego Comic-Con figure. I started in late 2012 and I missed the Piccolo, but this one was just so cool. Arlia, I was able to get her from Ageless Geek. Shout out to Alex. He actually I was here in Texas and I hit him up, and he was in Cali. I had him on, I believe it was Facebook, and he was selling figures, and I got a hold of him and I pre-ordered figures from him at the time. And you know, shout out to Alex. You know, he was the plug at the time. He still is the plug. If anyone needs to go hit up Ageless Geeks, Andrew Toyco, he's pretty good too. there's a lot of people that still do pre-orders, and yeah, it's just pretty cool just to get these figures now. Before, you had to like hit someone up who was in California to try to get the deals and try to, they might resell the figure for maybe 30-40 bucks more, 50 bucks more. I didn't mind it at the time. So like I said, this figure was my first Grail, and he still holds up pretty well at the time. For the time, they haven't made another Arlia at the as of right now, so I still think this is a great figure to own. And Vegeta, I'll show you guys. He like I said, he is a 1.0, like I was just speaking about. He the 1.0s do have a lot of, they're very loose on the bottom. This one is pretty good because I got this brand new, so the box was a little beat up, but I didn't mind. I believe I paid around 200 and something. This was maybe a year and a half ago. A guy, someone here local, Facebook Marketplace, I bought a few figures from him. He was just selling him, and we made a good deal. I had bought some previously, and of course right now he's going for a pretty good penny though. So he's pretty high up there on eBay. But at the time, this is what we had. Of course, like I said, things weren't as good as it is now. Especially this knee system, it's way outdated. Of course, like I said, like he really can't do as much because he is a 1.0, so you can't see the whole. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You can't see the whole separation here. And of course, later figures, of course they do a lot more. They got the ab crunch. This is just a straight. There's no crunch there. You can't do as much. You can't move his. You can move his body, his waist, but not as much. You can't move his neck. His neck's pretty much set there. He doesn't have right here. He doesn't have the on his armor plates. He doesn't have the whole hinge where he can go back and forth like the 24,000 power level. It's just more of just pop it in. That's how it goes at the time. Of course they improved that, which this is great. But now this is outdated. But to me, it's still a great figure. Like the way it looks, to me, this is great. But are you gonna get the same quality? If you're trying to compare it to the newer stuff, there's no comparison. The shading, the way it looks, that's great. Of course, the faceplates aren't there. I understand. The printing wasn't there. 2014, you can't blame them. But they haven't released another Arlia Vegeta since 2014. So to me, if you want an Arlia Vegeta, this is probably the best bet. I'm hoping that they do a updated version of it or some sort of, shout out to Comic-Con. Maybe in the future they might do one, like they might let's just hope they kind of do that. It's just hope. But he does have his toe hinge, normal, rotate. He can bend his knee. Like I said, he's a little, you pull his legs down, you can see this. Which kind of sucks, but at the time that's what we had, and you kind of just had to be happy that you had this. Of course, his arms, you can't rotate because of the shoulder pad is kind of blocking it, but you can still do poses. You can't move the shoulder pads, which kind of sucks in my opinion, but like I said, the technology now is a lot better. So if they did an updated version of this look amazing, honestly. Man, overall, this figure, after doing all the poses, you guys can see that he is still a great figure. I definitely recommend him. I honestly feel like, of course, he's a Grail for a lot of people just because of the color scheme, which is great. But to me, he's a great figure. Like I said, like just the face kind of, they don't have what they had at this time, like now. But at the time they did, 2014, this was great. And to me, he still stands the test of time. Like, they haven't released another color scheme for Arlia. When they do, I'm pretty sure this figure's price will go down. Maybe not. Now I'm thinking about it, just because he's a Comic-Con. Most of the Comic-Con figures are pretty high. Of course, Goku, 2011 Goku is the Holy Grail. Do I feel that that figure, the price is worth it? Definitely not. This figure is great. Like I said, he doesn't have another color scheme. He does have the original color scheme, but they've never released another earlier, so you kind of got to get this figure. And to me, he's great. I think anyone who doesn't have this and has hesitated to grab this figure, I definitely say go for it, man. He's up there. Is he perfect? No. But does he look amazing? You can't argue that. He looks pretty good. So I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like this figure is a solid 8 out of 10. You can, of course, the price is high up there. I know on eBay he's going for about $400 to $600. Do I feel like that's worth it? Probably not. But if you can find them at a steal price, maybe around the $250, $300, $350 range, I think that's worth it. The price is always going to fluctuate. I think that if you hold on to him over time, the price is going to continue to skyrocket. So I'd say hold on to him. Just how the 2011 Goku has been, people are holding on to him, and his price is still going up. I think the cheapest one I've seen on eBay is about $1,000. So in my opinion, hold on to the figure, grab this figure, hold on to him. If you like what you see, then go for it. If you don't, and you feel like you'd rather just wait for a 4.0, if Tamashii decides to bless us with that, that'd be amazing. Maybe one day I'll be able to go to a Comic-Con and we might see him. We might see the Arlia Vegeta, but for now, this is what we got, and I definitely think he's a solid figure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So would you guys grab him? Do you have him? Have you owned him? Give me your opinion, guys. Thank you guys for watching.